Hey,
Okay,
good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Welcome to What You Gotta Say. Well, it's Tuesday, so you know what we have in here. Our co-host, ever not always at the same time, but when they do get together, they do bring something special to the table. So, my co-host for right now, he hails from New Shoal of America, Rabbi Seth Sweatervest Frisch.
thank you so much. I'm glad to be identified by by my symbol, the sweater vest. I'm bringing it back after Senator Santorum tried to tear it away from us, God-fearing and gun-loving, Bible-thumping people that we really are here in Pennsylvania. But thank you for that.
Well, I'm hoping you have a lot more success with it than Senator Santorum.
Me too. Thanks so much.
So, Rabbi, 2 months ago, a gunman goes into a synagogue and he holds everybody hostage. I mean, and Sunday, a Asian man goes into a predominantly Asian church with a gun and he starts shooting people. What's going on? What?
Well, before you added that extra piece, I was going to say something slightly different, and as usual, you reorient me. But the way
Okay.
I see it, I know the way I see it is that gunmen are entering synagogues and churches and mosques, not just here in the United States, but around the world. And but with regard to what we're experiencing here, they're proclaiming, they're touting replacement theory, which I never really knew much about until I really did some research years ago at Charlottesville, and I heard these neo Nazis walking down the street with tiki torches or whatever they're called and chanting, "The Jews will not replace us." I thought, I wasn't even sure what that meant. But I've discovered of recent that it means something specific. And what it means is, I'm hearing some echoing, by the way. Is that something that we should tell Chaz about?
Chaz is already on it. We've got one of the best producers in the business. Believe me, he works
Fantastic.
behind the scenes. He does excellent. But what you're probably hearing coming up is voted on our show, one of the most handsomest men around, Iman Karib Bashir, hailing from the Islamic Center of Ewing.
Fantastic.
How are
Can you
you,
hear
Iman?
us? Well, until we get that fixed, let me just finish this sentence. So let me just say that replacement theory means that Jewish people are somehow bringing in foreigners to fill the ranks of the Democratic Party to undermine the white people of America. Something I learned from these assassinations and the
Hold on. Aren't you a Jewish guy?
Well,
I mean, Rabbi?
yeah.
Yeah. And you're just learning this? What, you didn't get the memo?
I didn't get the memo. I knew something was written in the 1880s by the Tsar's secret police called the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, and they propagated it.
Oh, those are the ones that have the laser cannons?
Yes, the same one that Marjorie, what's her name, Green was talking
Taylor
about.
Green?
You know,
If they really had a laser cannon, how come they never used it on her?
you know what? The Lord works in mysterious ways. That's all I can tell you. But I can tell you this: no one ever sent me the memo that I and a bunch of other Jews run the world from the basement of the Kremlin. No one ever told me that. But I found out about it by these people's manifestos that walk into churches and kill people. That's how I found out about it.
Wow. So, our houses of worship used to be such a sacred place. It was off limits. It was where you went for sanctuary if you were ever on a run from anything and everything. It was where you went for peace. It was where you can get a meal if you were hungry, or
Well,
if they had some. Yeah.
apparently, if you're a white guy, you know that you can find the sanctuary from Jews and black people if you go into a church and shoot a few of them. That's the new sanctuary. In other words, I can go into the sacred area and say, oh, what's the best thing I can do? I can stop those Jews and I can stop those African Americans. I can stop those. I can do whatever because I'm walking into sanctuary territory and I'm covered by the Almighty. It seems like it's working. Vince, what are you saying? It's working. It's open season. It's turkey shoot time. It's time to kill as many Jews and as many black people and as many Muslims as you possibly can. Open season. And how much of this are they solving?
Oh, and carry your manifesto so that somebody can actually read it.
Right. Just in case you're wondering, how did these black people get to this country? Well, maybe it was on slave ships, but once that kind of ebbed and flowed away, shouldn't we have sent them all back to Africa and the Jews back to Russia, wherever the hell they came from? And all these people see is that in Georgia, a Jew and a black man are elected as senators of the United States Senate. No greater proof than the Jews and the black people are taking over.
And taking the power of the numbers away from the Republicans.
Yes. I'm not speaking for me because I'm not white, but we white people, we're losing. By 2043, there's going to be fewer white people than peoples of color.
That's only in America. There are fewer white people globally anyway. See, the problem that we deal with is that some of these dumb jackholes don't do any world traveling.
Okay, wait a minute. Vince, let's remind ourselves that you and I and the Imam when he comes on and Dr. Lang when she comes on, we are peoples of faith. And although race is central to the way we live our lives these days, is it, as you said earlier, very eloquently, is it not faith that is under assault right now? It's not black people, white people. No, it's the peoples of faith. Because we are all God's children. We are created in God's image. And that image is under assault right now. That's the issue. It's not simply race. It's God's image in humanity that is under assault. And that.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Good to see you.
Good to be seen.
You're looking well. I was going to wear that exact same suit.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Well, hey, I'm glad you did.
First of all, Imam, you should know that when Vince says he's going to wear the exact same suit, we know that he's prevaricating because he would never wear a tie that's vertical. He only wears the horizontal. Number one. And in your comment, when you said it's good to be seen, let me tell you what my Catholic colleagues tell me. Better to be seen than viewed.
To be viewed. Yeah. Okay. So back to the original.
Yeah.
Our faith is under attack right now. I mean, we're talking about people believing the big lie, the demonic possessed people. If anybody doesn't believe that Satan, that evil is not real and it does not possess some people, look at what's going on. We're talking about churches, synagogues, masjids. Nothing is safe. We are all our faith. Somewhere, somebody believes that people who have faith are soft targets, and that's what they're doing with us.
That's true.
Or maybe not soft targets.
No, we've been proven to be soft targets.
Well, I'm thinking soft on one level, but hard on another. We are people of faith, and we haven't given that faith up. But when a man walks with a gun into a church, a synagogue, or a masjid, when someone does that, they've given up on faith because they've given up on God's imprint on us. They're the
it's given up, but at the same time, I think that they have allowed their souls to be taken over.
There we go.
By Shaitan, by Satan, and by hate. It just has totally erased the goodness that exists in every human being at one time or another. But it's gone when people do that.
Yeah, I wonder sometimes. You both of you come from religious traditions that are weighted with the apprehension of the Satan, of the Shaitan. But I'm just wondering, are people born with that in your religions? Are you
No.
born with that?
Born
No.
evil?
Born
No.
with Satan, just holding on to you, your psyche, your soul.
No.
No. No.
No.
How do they
No.
get that? How does
Through
Satan get into someone's life and pull those triggers?
through words, and words come in many forms. They can come in images. They can come in verbally. They can come in teachings. We say that the fitra, the natural way that God created the human being, you see that exemplified in the very young age of children. And then as they become older and get exposed to things, then that's where things begin to change. But the whispers are always there. It's just that you have to have some type of faith, belief, and self-control to and nobody's perfect, but some type of self-control to not give in to those whispers.
Well, they must be very compelling. They must be very seductive.
It is very seductive, and and for some people, it's not overnight. It's gradually.
Yes.
It's a combination of hearing the same rhetoric over and over and over again. Like people keep saying, we're going to build a wall, and all these other dummies go, and we're going to let Mexico pay for it. It's the same lie, and people start to believe. That's how subtle evil or Satan is. The whisperer continues to whisper the same lie into someone. And like the Imam said, if you are not disciplined, if you are not anchored in your faith, you, like Adam, give in to evil.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask this question. I'm well aware of certain writings within church writings. I read them, I try to study them, try to learn from them, and I'm very compelled by Jesus on the cross, which is not part of our tradition whatsoever. And he says, in the midst of this sacrificial crucifixion, he says, and I assume he's speaking to God, he says, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." And I'm wondering also with the Sermon on the Mount in Christianity about if someone smites you on one cheek, turn the other. So I'm just wondering, how does that configure into a people of faith? Because I know we all have this idea of compassion. But how far can our compassion extend to people who are slaughtering us?
Compassion extends to the level of the individual. When in the AME Church, we're celebrating the anniversary of the 9, where Dylan Roof goes into an AME church, goes to Bible study, and kills 9 people. Yet, at his arraignment, every last survivor from that church said, "I forgive you." Now, I don't know about you, but if somebody, killed one of my loved ones and I saw them, saying "I forgive you" would not be the first thing that's going to come to my mind.
Right. Exactly.
I'm a weaker individual than those people because I would not have held back in the same way. I admit it, and I am proud of the fact that I'm weak in forgiveness.
Okay, now, and here's the thing, and I had to work on my level of forgiveness too, because believe me, I used to be a real bear with a grudge. But then I had to come to the realization of all the things that God has forgiven me for. And if I can't forgive someone else, that means that I know better than God. And I can't put myself on that level.
Well,
so that's the power of forgiveness. Yet right now, every individual has to work on their understanding of forgiveness and tolerance. When he said turn the other cheek, that was basically him expressing tolerance.
Except if someone comes to smite you, smite. I don't know what smite means in the church, but we know what it means in the Jewish community. We know what smite means.
Oh, yeah, it means the same thing in the church. But believe me, see, that's one of the things that makes some people or non-believers think that people of faith are soft, turning the other cheek. No. See, you're going to go and you're going to run into the right Christian thinking that he's going to turn the other cheek. And, he's going to bless you by laying hands on you. Like, lay hands on you.
Yeah, when we say laying of the hands, we mean something different than you guys.
Oh, no. Trust me, if I'm in church and someone's looking to smite me, I am going to lay hands on him. I'm going to bless that person like they've never been blessed before.
Well, it's interesting. I just want to say this, that Mahatma Gandhi wrote correspondence with a very famous rabbi after the war. And Gandhi said to him in this correspondence, the Jews should have gone willingly to the concentration camp crematoria. There should have been no resistance, because resistance is evil in and of itself. And he wrote back, you know, this was Martin Buber, no small, incredible giant of the 20th century of Jewish theology. He wrote back, he said, we will never be that. We will never walk willingly.
Rabbi, let me ask you a question. In all of your life, and this is for everybody, in all of your life, have you ever seen hate so politicized?
Yes, I have.
Well, I've seen some.
And I see it right now.
I have seen it, but not as widespread. What I mean by that is I've seen it politicized in a lot of the southern states back during the civil rights movement and era, but not as widespread throughout the whole country, and also not as accepting of as many people, or I should say segments of the political leaders.
So, welcome to the show, Reverend Dr. Lang. How are you?
Thank you. I'm enjoying the conversation.
Wow.
Just to go right back
I
at
have
you,
to
we're
disagree
enjoying
with that
having you enjoy us.
whole laying on of hands thing, but other than that,
Yeah.
Oh, no. You wouldn't be one to lay the hands on them. You'd be behind me watching me do it.
I'd be.
All I can say about it is
on
Satan,
you,
get
trying to
behind
pull
me.
you away.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're so surprised. You know what I think? I think that this sleeping giant, the sleeping giant of racism, has always been there. Has always been an undercurrent in this country. The challenge we have now is we thought that we had this sleeping giant under control, and as long as we ignored it, right? So brown people, we're not surprised at all. It's the white people who are like, oh my God, is this really happening? Is this really happening in America? We've lived in this same America this whole time. Racism has always been. We've always been seen as less than. Now the challenge is that we were supposed to be better than this, right? Because we thought that if we ignored it, or if we let the sleeping giant lie, if we just let the elephant stay in the room and don't say anything, it would never wake up.
We thought it'd be a dormant, it would be dormant like the volcanoes in Hawaii.
No, brown people never thought it'd be dormant. It's not us that are surprised. We're not surprised. This is our normal. This is this woke America now, that they wake up and they're like, oh my God, we're racist. And we've known it the whole time.
It's definitely not surprising. I mean, even when you see all the videos, it's not surprising to us. When you see the police stops, you see the police beatings, you see the comments. These are things that we've been experiencing our whole life. It's just that now with technology and all of the video, people are seeing it and they're surprised, but we're not surprised. And also, too, I agree with Dr. Lang. The racism has always been there, but there was for a certain amount of years, there was an environment where people didn't as bolden to step out with it. Sure, you always had that small element, but now that element has grown to a large segment of the population. So now they feel like I can step out there.
If a black man went to a mall and shot a bunch of white people, he would be dead.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah.
If black folks stormed the Capitol, we would have never made it inside. They'd be dead.
True.
The conversation will be different. They're taking down America. You see, the narrative is very different because when I listen to the news, it says most of the 10 were black. All of the 10 were black.
All of the 10 were black.
What do
You
they
see
mean
how they're
by-
trying to
wait,
change the
what do they
narrative?
mean- what do
Maybe
they mean
a
by
terroristic threat.
From the age of 50.
Wait, hold on. What do they mean by most? What do they mean by that?
They're trying to change the narrative to make it seem like it wasn't an attack on black people.
Yeah.
Where do they even get that most from?
They got it from themselves.
Here's the bull. Here's the bull. Okay, this is what I say is bull. When January 6th, when they attacked the Capitol, all of these white people got on the media and said, "This isn't America. I'm so shocked." Bull.
Yeah.
No. This is America. This is us. I do agree with President Biden where he says, when he was like, silence is compliance.
Yeah.
It is.
Actually, that's a saying in my religion, in Islam, where the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that silence is acceptance. He says if you see something, an injustice or wrong, you have an obligation to try to change it. If you can't do that, then you speak out against it. And if you can't do that, at least feel bad about it in your heart. But that is the weakest of faith.
Imam, did you say Salih al-Salam? Could you say that one more time?
May the prayers and peace be upon him. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Thank you.
And we say that when we mention the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, or actually any of the prophets, we say,
yes.
May the prayers and peace be upon them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing. First, Reverend Dr. King said there's a special place in hell for those who see injustice yet do nothing. These guys, and this is like the other kid that decided to shoot up people. Okay, but they played this one down. They played this one down because he shot black ones. The other one's boosted up because he shot white kids. These guys have been planning this for months. Months. I mean, he even put it on his high school yearbook. I'm gonna get a gun and I'm just gonna shoot up black people.
Yeah.
The other kid, and the teacher saw him, with his notes and drawings of shooting people. Yet they did nothing.
They got this whole replacement theory. It's no different than the children of Israel when they were in Egypt. And the Pharaoh said, wait a minute, these Hebrews, they're going to keep having these babies. They're going to outnumber us and they're going to take over. It's no different. Charlottesville, they didn't say, you will not replace us. So you didn't see nothing since Charlottesville? Nothing. Really?
Well, Dr. Lang, before you managed to come on, I was starting to talk about that. Of course, Vince interrupted me, but I want to say this.
I was saving that part for Dr. Lang.
Well, I just want you to know, Dr. Lang, that when I first heard in Charlottesville, when they were saying Jews will not replace us, I thought to myself, what are you talking about? And then I found out, and I was trying to explain to Vince, although I don't think he's as literate as we had hoped he should be for today's show, but I was trying to explain to Vince.
Excuse me.
I know, there's a tough one. Look at that face.
You do realize that I'm doing my show from Lancaster Bible College. So right after this, we're going to class.
So I was trying to explain to Vince that this idea that Jews will not replace us is that somehow the Jews are bringing in the black people to take away positions and homes and jobs and lives from white people. And I never understood. Where did this come from?
Hold on. You're a Jew. I'm a black man. I didn't get the memo.
I didn't get the memo either, but I'm happy to bring you in.
I want to replace Elon Musk right about now. I want to go in outer space, buy Twitter, except for I'm going to make sure Trump never gets to tweet again.
Okay, well, good luck with that.
Yeah, but I mean,
he knows not what he does.
Let me tell you something from what I've been exposed to. There are a lot of Caucasians that are not considered, mainstream or outright racist, but they inside, behind closed doors, they have that same fear.
That's right.
That the blacks and the immigrants, the Muslims, et cetera, they are going to replace us. And I went through that just on a personal level on many different phases, but even in my professional career, the fear, that, something that's been held by them for many, 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 many years. Now a black man is going to hold that position.
or
and
black.
they don't want it, and they
Imam, are
do
you talking about the
everything.
fire
that they
department?
can. Yes, fire department.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay, well, let's see. Look at the big racial pushback this country has experienced when we elected President Barack Hussein Obama.
yeah.
White people lost their minds.
Oh,
I mean, we've got more shootings, more pullover, more police brutality in 1 year than we've had 9 years before previously.
What are you talking about? We got Trump out of that. That's
Oh,
we got Trump from that.
No. Trump just raised the bar. He just took the filters off of it. It's the same thing. But we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about prayer, because I'm not giving any more oxygen to people who are ignorant and believe crazy stuff that they're going to be replaced. Because I don't think there's any black person that actually wants to be them. I think we kind of want to, the George.
I don't know. You got some black people who do
Oh
want to
yeah,
be
you
them.
got.
Oh
Like,
yeah, we got some of them. But
you got one that sits on the Supreme Court.
Oh Lord.
Unbelievable.
Hold on. What makes him black?
He's not black. He hasn't been black since
you answer that question.
Get out of here.
Don't tell me you can't handle the truth. I can handle the truth. What makes him black?
Because he's brown.
He ain't brown.
I think he looked into the black race.
Wait, Dr. Lang, you think race is color? I'm telling you, he is not black nor brown. I don't care.
The social construct of this country that is based on the color of your skin, he is a black man.
Okay.
I
don't agree.
If he thinks any different, then express to him that denial is not just a river in Egypt. Now
He's not in denial. He's not in denial. He's got a whole group of people who celebrate that he has denounced his black card.
Yes.
Well, he turned it back in.
And that's not new. We've had that since slavery. When you in the house and you telling on the folk in the field, massa, so-and-so ain't picked the cotton, that's not new behavior. We've had that from the beginning.
But it's not the same thing. This is 10 times worse because he has a choice.
Okay.
Some of the people from slavery didn't have a choice. Although what they did was wrong, still they were in a very precarious situation. He has a choice, and the choice he has made to deny himself.
He's a black man in white skin, and he's got judgeship.
Let's go to break.
We're on break. 2 minutes, 2 seconds.
There we go.
2 minutes, 2 seconds.
Now, what makes that man think that he's black? Clarence Thomas, really?
How come when I asked that, Dr. Lang pushed back on me? But now a black man says that, and Dr. Lang pushes back.
No, he ain't.
That's reverse racism right there, Dr. Lang.
Because of the social construct. He is just as dark as you are, Vince.
Okay, now
that is not true.
He is true. They're the same complexion.
Vince is a man of color.
Clarence
Thomas is a man of nothing.
Let me quote the prophets, peace be upon him.
Okay.
If a man thinks he is, then he is.
Yes.
Then he is white.
We're not talking about who he think he is. We're talking about if Clarence Thomas put on a hat and a hoodie and get in his car and the cops don't know where he is, he'll get pulled over just like everybody else who's brown.
Yeah.
But and then he'll open his mouth and the cops will do everybody a favor.
I know people just like him. I had even situations in the fire department. It was one time we went to City Hall to try to get more minorities hired, et cetera, et cetera. It was so segregated. All of the minority or the black and brown firefighters sat on one side. All the Caucasian firefighters sat on the other side, except one person. One person, the Clarence Thomas. I'm looking at him and says, "You got to be kidding me, dude."
It's the Willie Lynch letter. It is the Willie Lynch letter.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, listen,
in the book Uncle Tom's Cabin, they called him Sambo.
Vincent.
Yes.
Afterwards, or if I have time, well, actually, I have another meeting, but I have to call you on another time because on my phone or whatever, every time I try to tune into this rest stream, it skipped to part 2. It won't allow me to say access the phone and audio. I'm actually using my wife's phone. It finally went through, but my phone, I don't know what the deal is. So.
Can I just say one thing about before? Wait, hold on. Chaz helped me today, by the way. You should know Chaz helped me get on, so you should talk to Chaz. Number one.
Okay.
Number two, I will tell you this, Imam. You have never looked better than today. So you might want to think getting on that stream. I think you look really good.
It's a little cloudy, Imam. Can you rub the front camera a little bit? I think it's got some cloud on it.
Okay.
Like if you have like a cloth or something.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Like it's not bad, but I think if it's a cell phone, it's just from talking on it. There.
Oh, that's much better.
Maybe not.
I never wanted to see that hair follicle on your face, though. I'm just saying.
Well, there goes the bromance.
And then the phone.
Why is it that?
It's because you have the phone standing. You have the phone standing up. Turn it sideways.
Okay, I will try that.
It should.
Sideways. Like you're lying down on the job.
It should automatically. It's an iPhone.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
It should adjust.
It normally does, but it's not. But nevertheless,
Mom, I've never seen your ear from this particular position. That's incredible.
My ear? What are you talking about, dude?
Because you're sideways. You're still sideways, Imam.
Okay, so if it's an iPhone, drag it from the. Do you know what kind of iPhone it is?
Probably an iPhone 3.
This is my wife's phone. To be honest with you.
Is it newer or older? If it's newer, you can drag it from the top. If it's older, you drag it from the
Samsung S9 or something like that.
Okay, so it's probably we could do it after the show, but it's probably locked on screen rotation, so it doesn't do it automatically. Yeah. Right, we'll do it after the show. I'll play with it.
Anybody mind getting back to it?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to put you guys back in. I'm going to count you down from 5, stopping at 3, live in 5, 4, 3.
Okay. Well, listen, for those of you who are watching a stream, you get to see some of the antics that happen during some of the breaks. And sometimes we just keep going. But passionate discussions like this deserve passionate responses. It appears to me that there is evil afoot, which is looking to destroy us by our faith. It seems like they are going after every faith. And there's just such a level of evil and hate in these individuals. And I don't know what it is that they're not getting, what are their needs that they're not getting met. But why do they blame it on faith and race? Why can't someone just sit up there and admit the fact that they're a loser and this is the best that they're going to be? And then do something to improve that? Why do they blame their situation on God or other people of color? I am so sick and tired of the complacency of all this stuff going on. Yet we can't get our politicians to pass anything to keep people safe, because they've got their hands in the pockets of the firearms people. We can't keep them safe from opioids because they got their hands in big pharmacies' pockets. We can't keep anything safe or have any extra money because we're spending billions of dollars trying to keep Russia from taking over small countries. We need something right now. And I'm hoping one of you wise ones can tell me what we need.
You know, the word of the day, every morning on Clubhouse, I do a word of the day, and we take it from the Bible app. So today's word of the day was Micah 6:8. What does the Lord require of you but to do justice, love mercy, and to walk humbly with our God? So as I'm talking to people, I'm saying to myself, you know, that's a nice thing to say. When the rubber hits the road, does that apply to everybody? Because the man who shot up all the 10 people, does that still apply to him? Who am I to say who to show justice to? Who to show compassion to? If I'm walking humbly before my God, that means there's enough grace to cover everybody. And if the Bible tells me to pray for those who despitefully use me, the man who shot up those 10 people, would you consider that an enemy? And then am I supposed to forgive him 70 times 70 times? Absolutely. So the way that we move forward is to work on me. If I get my heart right, I get my mind right, my spirit right, and I follow my Micah 6 and 8. But I got to put somewhere. I got to put my righteous indignation somewhere. And then I got to put my selfishness and my foolishness somewhere.
I don't need a lot of space to put mine. I just got a little bit, Dr. Lang. Just a little.
And it's not easy.
Dr. Lang, you are so much more pious and religious than I will ever be in my entire life.
God.
It's phenomenal what you are willing to do in order to co-opt these others into the brotherhood and the sisterhood of humanity. I am not so fortunate as you with the patience, the skill, the humility that you have. I'm not that fortunate.
The proclivity.
Right. And I was saying earlier to Vince that, this letter that Mahatma Gandhi wrote to Martin Buber, and he said, you need to forgive these people. You need to commit mass suicide by walking into the crematoria. You must, because that's the way of full compassion. And I'm going to tell you something, Dr. Lang, I never want to be that. We Jews, we've had it. When Vince says I can't stand it anymore, we have already got to that boiling point many, many times over the last 20 centuries. We don't have it within us. We will never have it. We will not only will we say never again, but we will be never again. We will never allow this to happen. And if that means that I have to give up on forgiveness and compassion, maybe another God or another leader of another religion might have talked about or proclaimed, so be it. Because my job right now is not to give in. I am in no mood to be tortured, burned, exterminated, rid off the land. I'm in no mood anymore. I've had it. And when a man walks into a black church and shoots people because of race, because of replacement theory, because of evil, because of Satan, I'm going to meet fire with fire because I have had it up to here. And that is a religious conviction of the highest level of Jewish piety I can muster today on this show.
Yeah. And actually, the Islamic position is similar, but not necessarily to turn the other cheek. We are told that it is a grave sin to be the aggressor, but if you are attacked, then you respond. But your response should be measured. It should be similar to, in terms of the way, the level in which you were attacked as well. And as far as forgiveness, we are told that we should try to be forgiving, but that we have what we call the names of Allah and various names of God. And 3 or 4 of the names are relative to forgiveness, that he's all forgiving, he's the pardoner. But in front of those names, like, for example, one is Ghafur, but properly it's El Ghafur. And in the Arabic language, El is a definite article, meaning the forgiver, meaning that as human beings, we can never reach that level. We just make an attempt, but in reality, we'll never be that. So again, if you walk into a church, you're going to kill 10 people, my family members and all of that. Forgiveness? I'll leave that to Allah. I'll leave that to God.
That is interesting that you say that, Imam. That to me, when I think about it that way, that there's a level of forgiveness that we'll never achieve, right? And when you said, I'll leave that to Allah, that creates a space for that human part of us that just can't do it.
That carnal nature that just says that I'm surrendering to the evil.
Yeah.
Well, listen, look, Imam, I'm not disagreeing with you because I'm look, like I said earlier, you come into my church, I'm going to lay hands upon you and then ask for some forgiveness.
Now you notice that Presbyterian church in Southern California, when the guy came in to shoot him up, the congregants grabbed him and they held him down to the police.
Yeah. Hey, kudos for them. And some of them were elderly people too, but they did what they had to do.
That's right. See, people people get determination of sheep really mixed up. I mean, what do you call a female sheep?
A ewe.
What do you call a male sheep?
I don't know.
A me.
A ram.
He said a me.
Yeah, me. Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to take a break. Finally, we're on time. So we'll be back in 2 minutes, 2 seconds, and we're going to dive into what we were trying to get into for a while: the understanding of prayer. I'm Vincent Squire, and I've got three of the best co-hosts ever: Rabbi Seth Frisch, Reverend Dr. Lang, and Imam Karib Bashir. We'll see you. 2 minutes, 2 seconds.
Yeah, we're out.
Okay, Chaz, are we running Dr. Lang's commercial?
Yep.
What?
Okay,
We're
excellent.
advertising for Lang now? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Which commercial are you running? The one that you did for me?
We are scraping the barrel on advertising.
Nice.
We need to redo that one of that one because it's a little laggy. So I would like to redo it at some point. I think it's nicer quality now. We could do a better one.
I would like to see it. I would like to see it. Can you like send it to us and we can like replay it at our leisure?
Sure.
Yeah.
In fact, we're going to replay the Three Wise Ones. We're going to redo the Three Wise Ones commercial as well.
And also,
that's the one I'm talking about. Is the Three Wise Ones?
Chad,
the other commercial's fine. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you have my phone number, right?
Yep.
What I'm going to do is maybe even next week, if I can tune in like maybe a half hour early, or either give you a call and you can kind of maybe walk me through how I can, better,
Yeah. You can call me anytime. You call me whenever you want. I just send the bill to Vincent. You call me whenever, man. I'm available 24 hours.
Okay.
I'm only kidding. I'd be happy to help you. Anything you need.
Okay, thanks.
That's what I'm here for.
Chaz is not kidding, but I'll kid him.
I am. That's what I'm here for. You know what I mean? I want to. I'm here for Vincent, but I'm here for all you guys to make sure it goes smoothly.
Okay.
Vincent and I always log in like clockwork, 4:27, 4:30, and we're always hashing out something, whether it's on my end or his end, or we're always troubleshooting.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we're going to be on Me TV channel.
That's what I meant, Dr. Lang, by a me, a you and a me.
WFMZ.
Which
covers
1 minute warning.
New Jersey, all the way up to Middlesex, and all the way south. It also covers the entire Philadelphia, moving up to Harrisburg and Allentown, and it covers Delaware up to Christiana. So
And
all your
Me.tv.
Me TV, WFMZ is the actual owner of it.
That's
Okay. Is that live or is it like rebroadcast?
I think we're going to be a half an hour rebroadcast. I'm giving up the live.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right, I'm going to count you guys down from 5, stopping at 3, live in 5, 4, 3.
And welcome back to What You Gotta Say. The Three Wise Ones are really on fire today. So we've been trying to get into this since the prayer breakfast. Now we've got faith leaders in major monotheistic disciplines. What does prayer mean? Don't everybody jump at once. Slow down.
Prayer is talking to God. Prayer is reciprocal. It is talking to God and listening to God. It is putting yourself in a position where you are coachable and teachable. It doesn't make sense to go into prayer and you're not in a position to receive what it is that God wants to give you. And part of the challenge is people have been taught that God is like a genie or God is like Santa Claus, where you can just run your list down. God, I want this, I want this, I want this, and I want this. And there's no level of accountability. There's no level of covenant with a God that you're talking to. And that to me is the component that's missing, the covenant with the God that you're talking to.
So is that why I haven't married Halle Berry yet?
No, that's not why you haven't married Halle Berry yet.
I've been praying.
You haven't married Halle Berry because Halle Berry has a covenant with good taste. That's all I have to say.
Whoa.
Whoa. That's fine. Oh, Lord.
I should pay you back for those old timer comments last week.
Oh, God. Well, there he goes. The rabbi started another black on black crime.
I will tell you that for me, prayer was very different in the synagogue than it is in the church. When I
Why is
learned to
that?
pray in the synagogue, it was more integrated. Just like when I went to Kuwait and I was in the mosque, prayer is very sacred. It's like everything stops. Like you could be walking up the street, and if it goes off that it's prayer time, everything stops. Businesses, cars, everything stops for prayer. And so for me, the Christian perspective has watered down the sacredness of prayer time. Whereas in the Jewish tradition and in the Islamic tradition, prayer is the central part. Like when I was in the synagogue, the first thing the rabbi taught us was Modeh Ani. He said that before you even open your eyes in the morning, you should be talking to God. I didn't learn it in the church. I learned that in the synagogue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
As you know, prayer is very, very important. It has a lot of benefits. In Islamic faith, of course, we're ordered to pray 5 times a day. Matter of fact, I don't know if you know this story, Rabbi, but we believe in what's known as the Ascension, where the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that he went from Mecca to Medina, and then from Medina he actually went up in the heavens. And there's some stories where people asked him about, well, how can you travel from Mecca to Medina in that short period of time? There was a traveler that came.
Al-Barak.
Yeah. Well, yes, you know about that. So anyway, the story goes, and I'm giving you the short version, where he spoke to some of the other prophets. And when he finally spoke to Allah, God, he said that he was told to tell your followers to pray 50 times a day. And when he spoke with Moses, Moses said, go back. People will never pray 50 times a day. So he went back, and 2 or 3 more times. It was finally given for 5. But also too, there's a hadith that says that you get 10 times the blessings for each prayer. So it's still equaled up to 50 blessings. But prayers be one of the first things that we will be questioned about on the day of judgment. That's what we're told as Muslims. So we pray 5 times a day, and people, they take it very, very, very seriously.
But Dr. Lang, I had the same issue with my spiritual conversion, because I was raised Jehovah's Witness, in which to me prayers were very sterile.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got baptized and started, really diving into the Bible and reading about Daniel and how he prayed, and how the Lord said that, when Daniel prayed, he made everything stop. Heaven and earth. No, everybody, don't move. Listen to them pray.
I think the challenge we have with this westernized, colonized version of Christianity, and I say that with intention, it's a westernized, colonized version of Christianity. It has tainted the sacred to accommodate the foolishness and selfishness of the writers of the text. Now, I can still honor the Bible. I can still believe in the revelatory knowledge. I also understand that the writers, the actual writers, not the revelation of God through the writers, the actual writers were westernized, they were colonized, they were white men writing to white men to accommodate a white man's plan. And so when you put all of that in there, you understand why people walk during prayer. Now, in the military, I write a religious accommodation for Muslim soldiers who need to stop during the day to pray 5 times a day. In my chapel that I have right now, I have Muslim soldiers who come to do their prayer time in the chapel. You don't have Christian people to pray, but then they want religious accommodation for all this other kind of stuff. And so for some people, it is a central part of their life. For some people, it's the periphery.
So has prayer, because we've, look, I'm in a school right now that's predominantly Eastern European, westernized theologians. Colonized theologians. So are you saying that the more that it becomes more cerebral than spiritual?
I would say, so my second master's degree, I have a master's in sacred theology. And in that, I look at the difference between white people's religion and black people's religion. And for white people, there is this, they use the terminology of Christ, where God is far removed from them. But then the black culture says Jesus is my friend. So we have become too acculturated to pull God too close and to personalize, whereas a white religion has pushed it too far. So there's some discord in all levels. When you pull God too
Acculturated.
close, you become too familiar. And then if you push God too far, that you can't be in covenant.
So I make a comment.
Acculturated. That's your that's your doctorates being nice and saying assimilated.
Acculturate, well, assimilation is more like when you're with a group of people. Acculturated is your whole frame of mind.
Can I make a comment here?
Absolutely.
I want to say this to you because I've been listening carefully, and look, I'm going to be the first to tell you I have my own problem with prayer, and I know the only way to get through that problem,
Is
through
to
that
pray.
challenge, is to practice. That's my first comment. And I tell people the only way to finish a marathon is to practice and for the marathon and to continue running, even if it hurts your feet and your lungs. But I want to say this: Jewish prayer. There's two components of most Jewish services. One is the reading of the Torah, and the other one is prayer that's framed in the plural with some personal places as well within that. It's said standing, and every one of the pieces of prayer are called blessings. And every blessing starts with these words, which I think, Dr. Lang, you'll recognize from earlier time in your life. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. And a lot of people don't know this. Maybe they know it by rote or by I don't know, but those words mean, blessed are you, Lord our God, which is really second person and intimate relationship that you were speaking about, Dr. Lang.
Yeah.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, in like third person, kind of distant. Something that's not easy to bridge because it's God. And I'm a human being. And so blessed are you, as if it's, as you say in the African-American community, it's your friend. Like Abraham was called the friend of God.
Yeah.
El Khalil, Imam. El Khalil, the friend of God. And in our tradition, Chaver, Chevron, of God. And so it's the two of us at the beginning of every prayer in the central part of the Jewish service. It's the two of us. But it's also recognition that it's Hashem, it's El Adonai, it's Eloheinu, it's Allah.
Rabbi, we've got a few minutes left, so I want to get this last question out. If you don't mind,
express that to Dr. Lang. That's all.
Now, does prayer bring more intimacy with God and you?
It depends on what you're praying about.
Yeah, and if the sincerity is there, in Arabic is we say khushu, which means sincerity, concentration, humbleness. There are basically 5 main points for prayer. I mean, it's actually more than that, but one is to give thanks. To give thanks to the Lord, to Allah. Also to remember Him, and that's why it's also 5 times, because in those intervals, sometimes the whispers of Shaitan, you see this, you hear this, or whatever. Also is to seek forgiveness. That's one way. And also we're told that the prayer helps us to refrain from shameful and evil deeds. And then, of course, purification. And it means it's more than that as well. But those are some of the 5 basic points for prayer. So I would say yes, prayer will help if you have the right intention.
We say Tahir libeinu la'avdecha be'emet. Purify my heart so I can serve you in truth. And so prayer, it really comes to me, but it's so I can come to you.
Yeah.
There's a level of transparency that should come with prayer. I believe a lot of people don't pray because they don't want to change. They don't want God to tell them what to do. We have such a society that is so self-indulgent and so overly sensitive to what they want and how things want to be. So if you pray to God, that means somebody else is telling you what to do. I had a soldier tell me that she stopped praying because she didn't want God to tell her what to do.
And also people stop praying because they can't handle the truth. Right. They don't want God to tell them what they're doing wrong.
And that's a whole nother show, that this generation of folk have no resilience.
Listen, one of the meanings of the Hebrew word for prayer, lehipalel, means to judge oneself so that you can change. That's one of the important meanings, lehipalel. But again, it comes back to this idea, just plainly. Help
Okay.
me so that I can communicate with you.
Yes.
Okay, I've got 30 seconds before my class starts. So last words. Start with you, Rabbi, because yours is going to be short, and I got my finger on the mute button.
Yeah, I got you. I got you, brother. Remember that covenant with Haley Berry. But just remember,
Howl it.
purify my heart so I can serve you in truth.
Shalom. Imam?
I wish I had more time because I really wanted to interject something relative to prayer as it relates to what we started off with the hatred and the racism and all of that, but time doesn't permit. I was just saying that I would just hope that more people will not just take prayer or what they say they believe in and exemplify it one day out the week, but we have to do it every day of the week and really bring about the love and the compassion and the patience and the acceptance that all of our religions actually teach us about.
Dr. Lang?
You know, the word says, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Prayer is looking at me in the mirror and saying, God, fix me before I ask you to fix anybody else.
Well, look, I want to thank all three of you because, I mean, I've been sitting up here and I've been listening intently to everything that all of you said, and a lot of it makes a lot of sense. A lot of us are keeping it real, and a lot of us are keeping it faithful, and a lot of us are just keeping it. And the whole thing with what's been going on in our world right now is that a lot of people need to hear this. A lot of people have been holding some things in, some illnesses, some mental illnesses, some anger, got a whole lot of indecisions and a great deal of unknown. And it has caused such a turmoil in this world right now, in our countries, in our homes. I think we need to understand that darkness cannot fight darkness. And it's going to take light. It's going to take the light of God. It's going to take love. And I mean, that's truly what the world needs now. More love, more open love. Because people can be bold and emboldened and empowered to say crazy, stupid things that make no sense, yet angers everyone. Why can't we have that same level of boldness to express love for one another? Jesus said, be good to one another, be kind to each other. By doing this, people will know that you are my disciples if you love one another like I have loved you. We need more love so that we can have less shootings. We need more love so that these people who write laws that govern us can do something that would work for us. We need more love so that we can sleep well, knowing that if our children are out, we don't have to worry about somebody driving by and killing them. What this world needs now, more than anything, is love, sweet love. God bless everyone. Tomorrow, Black History 365 with Dr. Milton. Stay tuned, everyone. Peace.
Okay. Peace.
Okay.
All right, we're out.
All right, I got people
Okay.
standing up here ready to get in this classroom.
Yeah, go ahead. Go do your thing.
Yeah,
I guess, Vincent, you're going to have to share that commercial with them. I don't have access to share it.
I certainly will. Okay.
And thank you guys for using this restream. I know it's a pain in the ass, but I can adjust all your levels, and you guys
Actually,
all
it's a
look
pain in
good.
the
And
chaz, if you really want to know.
you're good.
Okay.
I really,
So
but
I'll
honestly, I
touch
really
base
do
with you.
appreciate it.
All right.
I will touch base with you.
All right, shalom out.
All right, thank you.
Shalom
All right.
out.
Okay.
Peace, peace, peace.
Love you guys.